I have not had a chance to meet Giannis, no, but I'm a big, huge fan. I'm inspired by his story. I love his loyalty. I love his passion. It's his ability to play through pain, to play through difficult times without complaining, taking ownership, and just getting it done. Άλεν Άιβερσον, yeah, funny story is everywhere I went in the city, he was there playing as well. So we would literally go from gym to gym. He's only 3 years younger than me, and we would have many battles.
Mr. Baker, or do you prefer Coach Baker?
However you see me. Okay. If I'm a coach, call me coach. If I'm a mister, call me mister.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here with us here in Eurohoops, with a special mention to Coach Δημήτρη Γαλάνη for setting this up.
Yes. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here coming to Greece every year. He's a good friend, a good coach, and I'm honored to call him a friend.
So, please, let's start with the purpose of your trip to Greece.
I mean, my purpose is always two things. I always try to teach players, coaches, how to win in basketball. And my philosophy is ODC, offense, defense, winning culture. And under offense, we're teaching basics, moves and counters, and team concepts. And under defense, how to stop moves and counters, defensive fundamentals and team concepts. And then, winning behavior, culture that I've gotten from being on the court with about 24 GOATs and world champions. And then the second purpose is, teach them how to win in life. Teach them how to be a leader, teach them how to have valuable relationships, teach them how to overcome obstacles and adversity, and teach them how to spread faith, hope, and love, right, in their communities. And I do that through the platform of basketball, camps, clinics, workouts, events like you and me are sharing right now in this interview and podcast.
What did you see in Greek and perhaps generally in European kids during your tour?
Yeah, I've been to 53 countries. Every country is different. A lot of countries in Europe. And in Greece, the passion is there. The want to is there. I'm not sure there's a unified coaching alliance to help each small community as well as larger communities to really help these kids navigate a career to professional basketball, whether it be Greece, Europe, or the United States. But the will is there. The communities love basketball. They've been very embracing to me. You got some of the smartest coaches in the world here, in my opinion, that I've noticed. So I always enjoy my time in Greece. Good people, good food, good wine, good culture.
There's a debate about the level of fundamentals in Europe and in the NBA. What's your take on that?
Well, I think fundamentals are strong and weak everywhere. It just depends on where you go. Overall, as you saw in the draft this year, 8 of the first 20 picks were non-USA born players. It's because there's more of a systematic, even though it needs improvement, it's a more systematic basketball coaching system over here compared to the United States. It's fragmented. We don't have the tactics with our younger players that they do in Europe. We don't have the IQ, the shooting, the passing, the decision making. Our kids can make moves off the dribble. Our kids can now shoot threes beyond the line at early age. But as far as being an overall basketball player, I think Europe still has that advantage over the United States. And you don't find with the elite players in the United States compared to the United States, we have too many voices. We have too many people in their ear, in their tribe, too many distractions, where Europe doesn't have many distractions at all. These players come over a little bit more coachable, a little bit more accountable, less drama, if you will, with their camp.
After your trip to Greece, please let's go back to your journey in sports and basketball. How was your beginning?
Well, my dad was a coach, and he introduced me to the game. He was also a good player. And so I watched him play pickup, summer league in our backyard. He kicked my butt. And so he lit a fire under me early on. He was the only white guy on the bench, and so he coached at a predominantly all African American high school. So he taught me early on that, you know what, success is colorblind and gender free. Like, we all have red blood and we all love something. And so that bond of diversity really it made an imprint on me for the rest of my life, because now, as a former high school, college, and pro player, I go all over the world and in diverse situations where I have to rely on connecting and communicating and creating that common thread through basketball. And I got that from my parents growing up in Hampton, Virginia.
Like Άλεν Άιβερσον, right?
Άλlen Iverson, yeah, funny story is everywhere I went in the city, he was there playing as well. So we would literally go from gym to gym. He's only 3 years younger than me, and we would have many battles in Shell Road and King Street and Langley Air Force Base and Bethel High School, Magruder and Lindsay High School, middle school. And he just, he was an icon. Even as a young 8th, 9th grader, he loved the game. He played with tremendous passion. And fast forward, I was able to train his son Deuce. So
Great.
That was pretty neat.
Did you try out for the NBA?
I did. I had a little open tryout in 2002 with the Denver Nuggets. Jeff Bledsoe was the head coach. Chip England was the assistant. Adrian Dantley was the assistant. Scotty Brooks was the assistant. Carmelo Anthony's rookie year. Chris Anderson's rookie year. I lasted a week. I made it through a couple cuts. I ended up breaking my knuckle. And they said I wasn't good enough to be put on injured reserve. I wasn't going to make the team anyway. But they kept me on because I asked, could I stay and take notes and learn how to train the NBA way? And they said, yeah, you got a knack for coaching and leadership, no problem. And fast forward, Tommy Shepard, who was the assistant GM there at Denver, got the GM at the Wizards, and informally offered me a couple of interviews with the Wizards later on in my career. So that was a pretty special moment for me. Kind of put the playing dream to bed and opened up the coaching dream all over the world.
You motivate and inspire a lot of coaches and players worldwide. Who's inspiring you?
I try. I'm humbled you would say that, because I always try to stay motivated, inspired every day. But I mean, first and foremost, God. I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus. I need him in my life. And so he's given me a gift, like he's given all of us a gift. And waking up every day, making him proud, fulfilling that gift to help this world better inspires me. My parents inspire me. But it's my family. I got 3 kids and a wife, and things don't always go the way you want, but it's my responsibility to take care of them no matter what. And so I go out every day having them as my why. And making sure that I provide for them. I keep the reputation as an excellent standard with the name Baker. Our reputation is more powerful than silver and gold, and I want to keep that name strong for my kids so that when they start their own life and journey, our legacy continues to move on. And then last and not least, it's all my mentors that have poured into me. A Kevin Eastman, who was a world champion with the Celtics, a Pete Strickland, who was one of my college coaches that recruited me. I worked for him. Dip Mitris, Mike Dunlap, Brian Gorgian, Steve Lavin, Demetrius Galantis. I mean, all these people that have poured into me, I don't want to let them down either. And so too much is given, much is required. And I'm always thinking of, all right, today I have to win the day. I have to be better, and I have to continue to fulfill my responsibilities and God-given talents.
I have here quite a list. Please allow me to read it because I will forget someone. You have worked with basketball stars like Kόμπι Μπράιαντ, ΛεΜπρον James, Kevin Durant, Ray Allen, Kyrie Irving, Chris Paul, Manu Ginobili, Vince Carter, Amari Stoudemire, and Deron Williams. What were their characteristics and the similarities that led them to that top level?
Because of my relationship with Nike over the years, I've been able to coach with, work out with, eat with, talk with, do interviews with, their mentality is, they have three behaviors. Number one, they get through hard, right? They look at hard and challenges as a way to compete against themselves. They're always competing against themselves so that they can compete against you. I call it, they compete, they don't complain. They're very curious, which brings me to the next behavior is they're growth learners, right? They have a growth mindset, meaning they're always learning, they're always trying to improve holistically. It's that 1% cliche of every day, I'm trying to get 1% better. And growth is the bridge to joy. Like they just have an electric light about them, energy, passion, like you have, George. You know what I mean? And so their personalities are addictive. They light up the room. They inspire people with who they are and with their energy and just being. And the third thing is that they're just great teammates. You know, their presence is a present. And when you're with them, they're celebrating you, they're educating you, they're talking, they're touching. Winning teams, you know, they say talk and touch. And on the court, they're aware, they're directing, they're correcting. They uplift their teammates on the court. If you're their teammate in a certain project, they're checking on you. They're servant warriors. Like they're always engaging and making sure that, hey, you're gonna come along this ride with me, and what can you give me, because I'm trying to get better. So you know, they get through hard, they are growth learners and have a growth mindset, and man, they're great teammates. They always talk and touch.
All these elements
all
these special players have, is it something that they should have, they should gain, or they should just embrace when somebody teaches them?
Yeah, well, I mean, you gotta have certain values and behaviors to win. I mean, there's a lot of ways to win, but I can't think of a better mindset to have than to compete. Don't complain. So many people talk themselves out of a dream, a goal, a day. They talk themselves into, you know, depression and despair instead of their destiny. And so the way you talk to yourself, the way you act when you face failure, whether it's self-inflicted or not, winners, these GOATs I've been around are like, all right, I'll show you, watch me, let's go. We got no other choice, you know, let's tighten our belt and let's continue to fight. So basketball is a team game. So I don't care how much individual work you've put in, you still got to share your superhero weapons with your team, right? With the Avengers. And so being a great teammate, players should embrace and learn how to act that way. And then learning, I mean, at this present interview, I'm in my 50s, and you can't lead from your generation. You can't rely on the past. You have to stay present. People are changing, the world's changing, you're changing. And so you have to constantly grow and exercise your mind. It's the strongest muscle in your body. And that's the way you get prosperity. It's the only way you get prosperity is education. And so that learning curve about what you learn about your teammates, yourself, the other team, adjustment, scout report. You know, basketball is an academic subject like many sports. And it's that intellect that, yes, players need to embrace and learn how to get an A, right? And master their craft. And that's the one obstacle a lot of young players from high school to college, college to pro, you know, Europe to pro, NBA is learning the language and learning the subjects and the systems of that next level. And that's where your growth mindset has to come in. You have to embrace that.
From your experience and your workouts, is there anything that separates Kobe or KD or LeBron?
Yeah, I mean, all of them love to work out, but I guess Kobe took it to another level because I didn't spend as much time with him to experience this, but I do know some of his coaches, his trainers, you know, Phil Handy, Mike Procopio, Tim Grover, I spent a lot of time with, and, you know, they actually lived with him all summer and 3 or 4 years. It's his ability to play through pain, to play through difficult times without complaining, taking ownership, and just getting it done. Like, all the players you mentioned are skilled. All the players you mentioned are world champions, but it's to do it under tremendous adverse conditions that Kobe puts more pressure and holds himself at a high standard more than anybody else I've ever studied or been around. It's just, there's nobody that's going to want it as more. There's nobody that's going to work as harder. There's nobody as tough as Kobe. And you just can't teach that or duplicate that. That's something that he absorbed on his own and became autonomous that way and just took it to another level that's super authentic.
Kobe was a big fan of Giannis Antetokounmpo. Did you have the chance to meet Giannis?
I have not had a chance to meet Giannis, no, but I'm a big, huge fan. I'm inspired by his story. I love his loyalty. I love his passion. I'm sad at the time being that, you know, him and Dame aren't going to play together, but him and Miles Turner will be a great combo, and I just hope they have a chance to. Hope he stays healthy and have a chance to run it back at some point.
Giannis said 2 years ago that there's no failure in sports, that famous quote. Do you agree?
Yeah, 100%. There's no failure in life. There's only lessons. You know, when you make mistakes and you lose, right? Is it failure? Okay, failure is temporary, but finding a lesson and making yourself stronger is eternal. It's all food, you know, it's all part of it. Like, failure and pain is inevitable. And so when somebody says, you know, you're a failure, well, I just didn't get it right today. I failed today. That has nothing to do with my self-worth. And so I think sometimes the world creates a narrative of, you know, hey man, you failed. Yeah, well, I didn't make the NBA. But am I a failure because even though I didn't make the Nuggets, I became one of the most respected, popular, impactful player development coaches in the world. And still, after 26 years, my name rings strong in this industry. So did I fail because I didn't make it as a player? No. No, it's about, even though mistakes happen, that has nothing to do with your self-confidence and self-esteem. You're not a mistake because you make some mistakes. So I love that quote. He's right.
You trained Cooper Flaγκ as a junior,
yeah,
right?
Coop.
How good is he?
Well, no idea who he was. His AAU team hired me to come up, train him and his brother and a couple other guys. At the time, he was about 6'8", and it was a 3-hour training. And the whole time, yes, sir, I got you. Can you, like, he was locked in. And he respected me, but I never met him. Motor was up, his skills, NBA threes, handles, still have the video. And after working him out, I'm like, man, this is like a white KD. And I told his coach knew, hey, yeah, he's going to the NBA, but we had no idea he'd be #1 pick. We had no idea that he would be player of the year. Now he's got some things to work on. I mean, he's not perfect by any means, but that's the beauty of, you know, what I do is that I'm able to work out a Chris Paul at 8th grade, to Amaya Moore at 9th grade, who became a GOAT and WNBA world champion. Working out Cooper Flagg as a 16-year-old. It's neat to see their journey and their progress. And then I can go to the mere mortals, you know, like Karditsa and Megara, and say, hey, look, you know, this is what these young players had as a kid. So you can have this too. And so I can recognize greatness and empower other young players because I've been around so many GOATs that were kids. And the neat thing, George, is, do you know what a baby GOAT is called?
No.
A kid. So a GOAT is greatest of all time. So to be the greatest of all time, all the GOATs started as a kid. You know, a king starts as a kid. And so we as coaches have to embrace some of the most important jobs is training these young players. Everybody can't go right to a LeBron or a Kyrie or go train a Giannis right now. You know, some coaches do, that's their platform and calling, but what I try to get the message out to all coaches is that, look, man, take pride and passion in developing these kids because you never know when they become a GOAT.
Many players used to say that it's better to practice alone, away from the cameras and the bright lights. Do you think it's possible to apply their individual motivation to the team? I mean, Kobe was always saying that he wants to win one more ring than Shaq. Is it something that benefits the team, the individual motivation?
100%. You know, Spider-Man had to be as strong as he could be to join the Avengers. Captain America, Doctor Strange, they had to be the best they could be so their Avengers were strong. Kobe's the same way. He was going to show up early, stay late. So does LeBron and KD and Chris Paul, all the greats. Ray Allen puts in the work so that when they come with their team, all that work during the unseen hours in the dark allows them to shine brightly in the lights, and their teammates are inspired by that. So when they see a Ray Allen, a Kobe working out extra, first one in the gym, that gives their teammates trust, and then it motivates them. Man, Kobe's in the gym early, I better get in the gym early too. I don't want to let Kobe down. And you think about it, all these great players were the hardest workers. All the great players are the hardest workers. So that individual motivation.
That's the secret.
That's the secret.
That's not a secret, right?
That's the secret, but it's not a secret, correct.
How do you help your athletes or clients to recover from defeats, from setbacks, without losing sight of their goal? And what's the center of your approach?
Well, that's a great question. I got to have empathy, which I allow them to mourn. I allow them to get it out. Like my own sons, you know, when they're mad, they mess up. When they're mad, they lose. They show emotion. So hey, it's okay. And then when they settle down and they stop complaining and all that, I'm like, all right, now what? What are you going to do now? A deeper level of empathy is compassion. Compassion is, all right, I'm going to help you not fail again or not fail as much or have a opposite effect. Instead of you're crying, now you're happy and joy. So here's the solution to get better. And so I help my athletes have their moment, and then we start talking about, all right, whenever we get back on the court again, or when you start your journey the next day, next play, let it go. And it's self-talk, it's prayer, meditation, it's different recovery techniques to get rid of the anxiety and the negative thinking, to balance their emotions. It's sleep. And all of that holistic mental health, emotional health, EQ stuff is very important for coaches and mentors, even parents, so they don't take their pain into the next play, which is the next day.
They say that basketball is changing all the time. Is it the same with the mental aspect of athletes' preparation, especially with the social media, the critics?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, their mental stress and anxiety has exponentially gotten worse because of social media, because of now all the pressures, you know, the accolades, the blessings. You can start your pro career earlier. There's more media exposure to you earlier.
Of course.
There's more opportunities, right? More choices earlier, more money earlier. And so these kids have to deal with success and failure at a mental age where their brain is fully not developed. I mean, your brain anatomically does not develop until you're 25. That's why they don't let you rent a car in the States until you're 25. So a lot of these kids face, hey, the #1 fifth grader in the United States, or hey, this 15-year-old is playing for Real Madrid. So I mean, that's a lot to handle. With social media, the thief of joy for these kids, what steals their joy is comparison. Well, I'm making money, this guy's making more. I'm ranked here, he's higher. Man, I had a good game, but she got all the media. Man, look at his highlight. I need a highlight reel. Ooh, he's got Adidas, I want. So it's like these kids see what other kids their own age, and that peer pressure of, #1, am I good enough? #2, I want what they have. Man, that messes you up, man. You know, it distracts you from staying in your lane and just staying locked in on your journey. It's hard to do. You and I didn't have that social media. We had it at school. We had it at practice, but when we went home, the cameras were off. Now it's like the Truman Show, if you ever saw that movie with
Exactly.
Jim Carrey, man, it's always on because of that device is always on. So it's a scary thing.
What is the best lesson you learned and the greatest memory you have from all your professional journey?
Man, that's a great question. I mean, right here, right now is one of them. You know, we're in the arena of Panathinaikos and the EuroLeague clinic, and I'm with you, get to be on this wonderful platform. I would say the first time that I did an overseas trip with Brian Gorgian, Pat Hunt, Basketball Australia. I was just starting out as a former college coach, former player, and man, they took me for 3 weeks all over Australia. And the gyms were packed, hundreds of kids for our workouts, hundreds of coaches for our clinics. I was able to work out the Sydney Kings and some of the Australian professional players with Brian Gorgian. That was amazing. My first time in the Philippines, we were doing workouts, and parents like literally would just pack the gym just to watch us work out some of the pro teams there. And then I had a chance to eat dinner with Manny Pacquiao, the boxer and the senator. Meeting Kobe for the first time, doing an interview like this, watching Kobe do his thing, coaching some of the division, some of the Nike All-Americans that they brought us. Steph Curry was part of that camp with the college kids. Drew Holiday was a student in that camp, a player, and Tyreke Evans. And just being with Kobe and really touching and sweating with him, just amazing, you know. And then training LeBron as a rookie and a young player, and to see the habits he had back then, he still has those habits as a world champion vet. So it's just, I can't pinpoint all one, but you know, basketball has no borders, and it's almost like my rod and staff that Moses had. It just takes me around the world to spread love, peace, and joy and light within our game and within people's lives. I really believe that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
and
thank
I hope
you,
to
sir.
see you soon back in
Yes,
Greece.
sir.
Thank you.
I will be back.